What are the 4 steps in preparing a sales forecast anyway? Maybe you're an entrepreneur and you are trying to figure out how to make a sales forecast work for you and your small business. Trust me, we understand that it can be overwhelming. That's why in this video, we're going to break down the 4 steps to building a forecast and give you a couple of tips on what to avoid as you predict the future. I'm LizJSimpson, founder of the Big Money Movement, accompanied by
Cheryl Parks
and Heather Petherick.
They are the dream team coaches behind the Big Money Movement, and we are going to dive in. So when we talk about sales forecasting, let me at least just clarify what a sales forecast is, right? So a sales forecast should be some type of report, numbers, data, analysis, what have you, which helps you see what your revenue will look like over time. So how much revenue is coming into the business? What does my pipeline look like? Who are the opportunities that I'm in conversation with? When do I expect these opportunities will close? So it's kind of really your way of forecasting or seeing at a glance the health and viability of your business.
Lovely.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
So that being said, the first step when you're looking to prepare a sales forecast is 1, to know your desired outcomes. First and foremost, right? We have to know what is the destination we're trying to get to, what are the numbers that we need to hit. Yeah. And we talk about mapping out those desired outcomes. That may mean needing to know what your overhead is for the business. You know, what is your desired lifestyle? How much money do you need to make to be able to float and achieve that desired lifestyle? If you have cash, if you have a team, what does the cash flow need to look like to sustain payroll or to pay out your contractors, right? So you really need to know your numbers, what your needs are, what your desires are, and then from there be able to say, okay, well, for this quarter or for this month or for this year, this is how much revenue needs to flow into the business.
Right.
Then from there, what do you do, Heather?
So once you know your outcomes, where you want to get the business to from a numbers perspective, from a revenue and expenses standpoint, then it's about reverse engineering. And how we do that is this sexy thing we call IPAs, or income producing activities. When we're in our business to the level we know what specific actions we can take every day, every week, every month that will logically lead to new deals being won, new business coming in, or new revenue being won, then we can reverse engineer. If we know, for example, that given our business and how clear we are in the marketplace on our messaging and our outcomes, that if we reach out to 10 prospects a week, that means we will logically land 5 discovery conversations, and maybe of those 2 become deals that we've won. When we know what our IPAs are, we can predict where our revenue is going to be and hit those desired outcomes. So it's about reverse engineering. What are the specific activities each week and each month that we need to have in place to logically reach those outcome numbers?
Yes. Once we have those numbers, so we know our desired outcomes, we know what are the efforts, activities that we need to focus on to achieve those numbers, then what's the next step, Cheryl?
This is the fun part. So once you have these IPA, your desired outcome and your IPAs mapped out, now you get to inspect what you expect, because at the end of the day, this is a really important test for your business. It's a testing module. You're actually going in and you're looking to see where am I getting the greatest bang for my buck? Where is the return on the investment coming from? Is it in my conversations? Is my conversion rate better because once I get to proposal, I'm nailing all the proposals, right?
Yeah.
Because maybe you qualified the people that came into your sales pipeline really well in the beginning. So once you get to proposal, it's like,
ding, 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 ding.
Yep.
Yeah, we like that.
Right. So you want to inspect what you expect so that you're able to actually see where you need to make changes and adjustments.
Dial things in a bit.
Exactly.
Yes.
And or press the gas and keep going.
Yeah. Amplify your efforts because it's converting the way that you want it. That's a great scenario.
That's an ideal one.
I love that you say that in the eyes of an experiment, because your IPAs might flex, right? The results. We talk about this now, with our clients, that seasons are important and knowing the season that you're in. So we know during the summer, it might be hard to get all the stakeholders, bought into a decision. So you might find during the summer season that it takes longer to close deals, and your conversion rates might fluctuate. Whereas when we get to September, October in the year, your buyers might be spending more money, right? So knowing those seasons, and to your point, inspecting it so that you can call audibles or dial dial in and tweak them is really important. So give yourself grace and compassion to know, I got to pay attention to these things. I can't write this down and forget it.
Right. In addition, something just came to mind in terms of one of the Q&As that we had. There was a member that actually realized that her onboarding was taking longer because of the season, right? So you're all engaged in onboarding this new client, but because it's summertime or because it's over the holidays, you're able to give yourself more time. And that's how you can pull that into your forecasting to understand that instead of a 2-week onboarding, it could take 6 weeks because you need all the right stakeholders to be present.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it takes being in the game to know those things, right? Like those are things that happen when you're in there, rolling up your sleeves.
You're inspecting what you expect.
Literally.
That's it.
That's it. All right, so we talked about those 3. There's a fourth one that we think is important that may not come up enough when we're talking about sales forecasting, and that is your quality of life.
Yeah, let's be honest. We only start our own business because we want greater quality of life, whether that's the autonomy that it comes to decision making or the freedom and flexibility to create our own schedule. So no sales forecast can ignore this element of the quality of life we want, right? If we want to take summer months off, if we want to take a month off, we've got to know these things in our forecast so that we can either ramp up and compensate for maybe slower income in the summer and ramp up our IPAs on either side of that season so that the forecast is still met, or lower the forecast and be realistic that I'm going to take a month off and my income's going to show it.
Yeah.
I just want to underscore that. I hope they're listening, that you want to design your plan around the life you want. Because, and you all know, I was just talking about this at dinner, like your business will just take you by the heels and drag you. Listen, it will drag you across the floor if you let it, right? And so you have to say, what is the life that I want, right? And design your plan, your goals around that. I think too often entrepreneurs are just so eager to make money in their business that they're like, well, I'll be available whenever because, I just got to make some money.
More is better, right?
Right.
Until we're we're overwhelmed, we're burnt out, and we're like, why the hell did I get into this?
Yes. Yep.
That's called an entrepreneur job.
That's right.
That's called.
And I think we teach people how to treat us.
Yeah,
For sure.
Because if you plan that out, when I am onboarding a client, I can say, hey, I'm going to be out in December. Here's how we're still going to hit your milestones and objectives by planning around it. And then you have clients who are trained to that. Because I think we have, we're short-sighted oftentimes as entrepreneurs. And we say, well, these are the needs. I'm just trying to serve these initial clients right now. And you don't realize, well, what if you're serving those clients 3 years from now?
Right.
You've taught them to not honor your boundaries or to give you any time off, and you can't blame them because that's what you've modeled for them.
Yes.
Right? So
Such a great point.
So if you are looking to forecast for your business, these 4 tips are golden because we said they are.
So this brings to mind the story of, we're going to call this member Candy as well. So we have a member Candy, and I remember that one of the things that she was challenged with is she had a client that began with her, and as she started adding team members, that particular client did not want to give credence to the rest of the team.
Oh, yeah.
He always wanted Candy to be involved in the decision making. She had to continually go back and just let the person know, or their team know, that her team is empowered to make decisions in her absence, so that she wouldn't have to be involved in the process from beginning to end. That's why she hired a team.
Right.
So again, to teach people how you want to be treated, it's really important to actually have that clear communication.
Agreed. If you loved this conversation just as much as I did, then click the next video where we are going to talk about why social selling is important. And if you don't know what social selling is, that is all the more reason why you need to click and join us there. See you. Bye.